I like that we still have that just sitting here.
The big old blade, bro.
Big ass blade.
This is
Shanker be shanked.
This is like what is it? I don't know. What's the record company where they all kill each other? Death Row. This is like Death Row Studios in here. We'll kill anybody that comes up in the Brohio Studios. Welcome to the Brohio Podcast. I'm your co-host, the delicious Nicolicious.
And I am the robust Rob Dog. What's going on, everybody?
We're really glad you've decided to join us for this podcast adventure. We have a super great episode sponsored by none other than Wyatt Rucker the Fucker. Yeah. Wyatt Rucker, thank you so much for your Patreon pledge and sponsoring the episode.
Yeah, stick around to the very end. You can hear us our little interview with him. We had a good time.
If you would like to sponsor an episode, go to patreon.com/Brohio podcast.
It's weird how they're different. They'll either be our name before or after.
Yeah, Threadless is different.
Yeah,
too.
Threadless is different.
I don't even have my notes pulled up here, Rob Dog.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm absolutely no assistance.
You're fucking slacking here.
It's my last day.
Let's wait on the names for the patrons this week. I'm going to give a good shameless plug for our live show.
Yeah, do it.
This is October the 5th. It's only a couple weeks away. This is Saturday, October 5th, 7-11. This is home of Mothman. We're in West Virginia, as Nick says. It is us. History Goes Bump. Hillbilly horror stories. And it's going to be a fucking great time. Pants are optional.
It's going to be a fantastic time. We're going to put the link for the tickets in the episode description.
Yeah, $15.
$15. Also, I would like to announce we're going to be doing a free show in Dayton, Ohio at the Lucky Star Brewery, October 28th.
3rd annual.
I anticipate there not being any room for this one. Traditionally.
Or anybody there at the same time.
This will be the No. Last year we didn't have room.
Man, yeah, last year there was no room at all.
And we're going to try and set it up a little differently this year. So there is room for everyone, but this is a free show in Dayton, Ohio.
We haven't planned on anybody else being with us, so
you're just going to get all...
It's going to be all us.
Full Brohio.
Yeah, we're going to...
That could change, though.
Well, yeah, that definitely could change if it does change, or if it doesn't change, if it's just us. We have hopefully something fun planned so we can fill out some time, but...
That's going to be October 28th, Lucky Star Brewery.
26th.
26th?
Yes.
Okay.
28th is a Monday.
It's the Saturday before.
October, yes, 28th is a Monday.
All right, October 26th, which is a Saturday. Saturday, October 26th.
Do we have a time squared away for that?
It's going to be around 7-ish.
7.
I haven't set it up yet.
Yeah. We always say 7, but then usually about 8, so.
Right. And it'll be they have fantastic beer.
And food. Oh my fucking God, their food's so good. Their tacos are amazing.
And it's in an old haunted brewery. It's a really cool place.
Yeah. Everybody there is awesome.
The first year they let us go upstairs. Last year they didn't.
Nah, it was too crazy last year.
There was too many people.
They were afraid the toothless crackhead lady was going to come up with us.
Right. That's another thing. Wear your Halloween costumes. I think you and I should dress up this year.
Okay.
There was a lady there last year, and she kept opening up scabs in the front row. All those people there to see us, and this crackhead lady that's never heard of us in her entire life shows up and sits in the front row and fucking taunts us the entire time.
Heckled well, I mean, I don't even think she was like heckling. She was just like talking, just loud and.
No, she's never listened to the Brohio podcast, so she would hear some of the shock value of the stories, and she'd say, "Oh, what happened? Are you serious?" And then I'd say, "Yeah, lady, yeah." And then she'd just start picking scabs.
Yeah.
Freaking everybody out.
Sticking her big, nasty leg out in the air.
Yeah.
I say big, but she was like tiny, so.
Hopefully she's there again this year because she was a wonderful time.
I bet she's a good kisser.
I know she was a
I'll
good
find
kisser.
out.
The Patreon subscriber to start off this week, Big J Nasty. Thank you so much, Big J Nasty. If ever you find yourself looking for the other end of your nasty, this is the place to find it right here. Big J Nasty.
Nicholas Crawley, thank you very much, sir.
Mr. Crowley. I'm sure he's never heard that before.
Never.
This is a really fun one. The Enos of Venus.
Oh, okay.
The Enos of Venus, he's blowing some really aggressive clouds in his little profile picture here. We salute you, Anus of the Penis. Thank you so much for your Patreon pledge.
Christian Tabor, thank you very much. There's a pupper in his picture. Good job.
You're a good-looking boy with a hand tattoo. We like you.
That's what's up.
Ian. E-I-A-N.
I don't know if this next person's the same person, but hey, it's his last name too. Ian Mearns.
We appreciate.
Thank you, Mearns.
We appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
There's a couple different things I want to talk to you about.
Okay. I feel like I'm in trouble.
No, I have a really cool story. I told you.
Okay, yeah.
I told you I had a cool story for you guys, for Rob Dog. wait a second. Jesus, this is not the article that I had saved.
Man, you fucked up.
Oh boy, we may not have an article for you this week. That's all right. We'll fill it in with this right here. Yeah, that's not what I had at all. I don't know why that's there.
It's okay.
Yeah, so this
It happens.
One thing that I've come to realize with this podcast, a lot of times we get people. You kind of work by yourself. You're off doing your own thing at work. I work with a warehouse full of people.
Right.
Hundreds of people coming and going.
Yeah.
All kinds of people. And some of them will say, hey, I listen to your podcast. And I'll say, what'd you think? And they'll either say, pretty good, man. I like, or they'll say, not my thing. All right. Well, then why'd you stop telling me you listen to my fucking podcast?
just fucking ignore me.
Another thing that goes hand in hand with the stuff that we cover is people come to us and say, hey, man, I've had some shit happen to me.
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to tell you about it.
Yeah.
All the time, people will stop us and tell us about things, supernatural, paranormal things that happen to them, which I think is completely cool. 95% of the time, as soon as they walk away, I'm like, that was fucking bullshit. But I still want to hear your stories, okay? I do appreciate it when people come to me and tell me their stories. I had a guy at work this week. He come to talk to me, and he's just a guy that I've talked to him in passing, and he's an older, probably my dad's age, probably about 60, and maybe a little bit younger, but you can tell that this guy has had...
He's seen some shit.
He's seen some shit, but he's probably had like a pretty fucking cool life.
Okay.
Just like he strikes me as like a bachelor. I don't know if he's married or not, but he strikes me as like a pretty, just like, here I am, 55, and I've done my own goddamn thing my entire life.
All right.
It might not be the case.
Hey, I respect that. Even the aura, if he's putting that out, that's pretty cool.
That is what he's picking up and putting down.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting from him.
Slinging the big dick.
Then I talked to someone in passing before. They said, you need to talk to him because he's got some fucking shit that's happened to him.
Okay.
I said, all right. And I've been meaning to talk to him. He's got the most majestic mustache. He looks just like Sam. Is it Sam Elliott, the guy from the ranch, the dad with the really deep
I know you're
voice?
talking about, but I don't know his name.
Beef. That's what's for dinner. He looks like that guy, and he sounds just like him.
Okay. Yeah, he was in an episode of Parks and Rec too, so
Yeah.
I know you're talking about, but I don't know his name.
Okay. Super cool looking dude, super nice guy, beautiful voice. And he's telling me the story. He's like, yeah, man, one of the things I like to do is to pick up hitchhikers.
Okay.
And but he just goes on to tell me, he said, I see someone on the side of the road that needs help, I'll stop and help them. He said, even to this day, if I see someone hitchhiking, I can take care of myself. I'll stop and pick up a hitchhiker. It's someone that needs help. I just like to help people and hear, talk to them and hear their story. And I'm the same way. I like to meet new people. I like to hear people's stories. I like to, I like to go down that road. And he said, one time back in I want to say the 80s, the early 80s, I think that's what he said. He's lived in Columbus his entire life, but he said it was a rainy night, and he was driving through Columbus, and he saw a guy hitchhiking, and he stopped and said, hey man, you need a ride? And the guy's like, yeah, I'm trying to I have a friend's funeral I'm going to, and I need to get there. And he's like, all right. And this is like at night, 10, 11 o'clock at night. So that's kind of weird that he's like, I'm going to a funeral. I'd have been like, roll the window back up. Peace out, motherfucker. So he picks up this guy, and they start talking, and they find out the one thing they have in common is their love for marijuana. Late 70s, early 80s, pot.
Man.
Fucking let's get it on. I don't know why it's not legal everywhere. It's the dumbest fucking shit in the entire
stupid.
world.
It makes no sense.
It makes zero sense.
Zero.
The people like you and I that have to pay $200 a year to send our kids to public school on top of the taxes we already pay. If you just let marijuana do its thing, then our kids could have their fucking backpacks and everything supplied for them.
The states would make so much money. Look at all the money that Colorado's making.
Yeah,
it's fucking stupid. In California,
it's dangerous.
Man.
You don't want to overdose on the marijuana. Okay.
And I mean, you can regulate it at that point.
You can. That's a debate for another time. So
yeah.
They discuss, they have a mutual admiration of the marijuanas.
Sure.
And my guy said, I don't really have any right now. I can't really get any. And this guy, the hitchhiker he picked up, he said, I have a dude that I can get some from in German Village. If you want to stop in German Village, then we can go back to your place, and we can divvy it up, smoke it up, whatever. And he's like, rock on, man. He liked this dude. He's a cool guy. He's like, this is back in a different time, So he goes, he comes back out, and I think he either had a bag or 2 bags. I think he got a bag for him and a bag for the other guy. But he comes back out with 2 bags of weed. They go back to my buddy's apartment. And as soon as they go in, my buddy walks over to his aquarium and puts his boa constrictor around it. He had a big fucking boa constrictor.
Yeah.
And he said he's like, it was a real nice pet, man. I treated it real good. It was real nice. And I'm like, okay. I hate fucking snakes, dude.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
I absolutely hate snakes.
I don't hate them, but I'm good. My aunt had 2 like 6 foot long boas.
Dude, that's a story for a different time.
Yeah, we got to talk about my aunt.
Okay.
Yeah, some other story.
So he tells me they go back and he puts the boa constrictor on his neck. And immediately this guy is like, oh, fucking, is terrified of this boa constrictor. So hitchhiker guy, he's terrified of the boa constrictor.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to stop there and do some stuff.
Yeah, stuff happens.
So my brain's in 1,000 different places right now. I'm okay.
Same.
Yeah. No, for different reasons. So he puts the boa constrictor around his neck and he stands up to go make himself a glass of whiskey because he wants to have a little whiskey while they smoke these joints. And when he comes back, he notices that the guy has rolled 2 different joints. And he said what struck him as odd is back then it was kind of the thing to do was to roll 1 joint and you guys just pass the thing back. No reason to roll 2 different joints. And he immediately put up his flasher, he was feelers out on this one to see, what was going on here. So he says, man, we don't have to smoke 2 different ones. We can just smoke the same one and pass it back and forth so we're not wasting anything. And the guy was like, no, I insist you smoke. I don't like to share. Just I insist you having your own.
We have 2 huge bags of weed, but I don't want to share this 1 joint.
Right. So, but the entire time he's just noticing how off-putting this guy is, but how scared of the snake this dude is. He's just terrified of the snake. So they smoke, and he said within about 5 to 10 minutes after smoking this, he said he had the most intense, it was like anything he's ever experienced his entire life. He said the shit was laced. He said he couldn't walk, he couldn't talk, he couldn't see. He was just like paralyzed. And this guy was like kind of, it almost seemed like he was feeding off the fact that my buddy was going away. Like the stuff was fucking him up. But the guy couldn't get super comfortable because he kept the snake around his neck. So then finally my buddy gains something and he drags himself to his neighbor's door. I think it was an apartment.
Okay.
But he drags himself to his neighbor's door. And he said he was so fucked up from the stuff that he'd smoked that he couldn't even muster the strength to scream at the door or to hit the door to wake his neighbor up, to get his neighbor to come to the door, because he wanted his neighbor to come over to tell this guy to get the fuck out of his apartment because he knew something bad was going to happen. So finally he goes back over to the apartment with a snake. He's still got a snake on his neck. And he goes into his apartment and he says, like, just with all the guts and intestinal fortitude he had, he just, get the fuck out of here. Like, get the fuck out of here. He tells this guy, he said it took every bit of everything he had in his body to tell this guy to get the fuck out of here. Yeah. So the guy leaves and then nothing becomes of it. And he says a few years later, there's this big thing going on on the news. And they start putting this guy's picture up. They killed all these people in Milwaukee, like around Milwaukee. It was Jeffrey Dahmer.
No
and
fucking way.
Had his picture up. And he said, holy fucking shit, that was the guy in my apartment that night. This guy was in my apartment, and I smoked, and I was going down, dude.
It was when Dahmer had his stint in Ohio.
Yeah, and I looked up, I'm like,
holy shit.
And usually people tell me stuff like that.
Yeah.
My hair is standing up in my neck right
now.
now.
I've got chills.
And I usually, when people tell me stories, I'm like, okay, I'm going to check.
Bullshit. Yeah.
Bullshit. And I looked it up. And he was in Columbus during that time. He was he was back and forth with Ohio State. Mm-hmm. And this is right before he went into the Army.
Yeah. Holy shit.
And this guy was like, and the ages match up perfectly as well. He's the exact age. And he just told me this story, man. And he said,
dude, that's crazy.
And at the end of it, he's like, I swear to God, I think that snake saved my life that night. I'm like, dude, you're not wrong.
Definitely not.
You would have got fucking chopped up. You'd have got your dick sucked real good before you got chopped up. but you would have got chopped up, dude. And he's got so many cool stories like that. I'd love to sit down and chat with him sometime. But that was a story that he told me. Now, whether it was Jeffrey Dahmer,
Oh man,
it's hard for anyone to say for sure. But he said that picture come up of him after he was finally taken into custody, and it was on the news. And he said, "Oh my God, that was the guy that was in that." He said, everything was a little foggy from that night because he said, I think he laced it with heroin is what he thought that he laced
Jesus.
the marijuana. Yes, is what he thought he laced the marijuana with. But he, just when his picture came up, he said, that is the guy, that dude is the dude that was in my apartment that night with a snake.
that's crazy, dude.
And I said, you still got your dick, fella? And he said, I sure do if you want to see it. No, he didn't offer to see his dick. I probably wouldn't have turned him down,
Man, I can't imagine
being that close. He said he was fading, man. He was going down. Isn't that wild?
That's wild.
That's a fun story, isn't it?
That's crazy.
So if you've ever been almost killed by a serial killer,
By
write us
Jeffrey
an
Dahmer.
email. Write us an email, brohiopodcast@lycos.com. Let us know if how it was, if it was scary, if you enjoyed it, if it was Jeffrey Dahmer. It's time for the Bermuda Triangle, Rob Dog.
All right, man.
We had a good I had a good article about this guy that he was having a fart contest. They're lining up this big fart contest in India, but I lost it, dude. It's not
In
here.
India, oh god, I bet that's horrible.
Oh yeah, a bunch of curry and stuff, and just
Ugh.
and they want to have the person that's ultimately going to win this competition
Ugh.
is going to have the longest, most melodic fart. They're not looking for the stuff that comes out of my ass, or it just sounds like someone's in the back of a bologna truck throwing stuff on the pavement. That's not what they're looking for, okay? They're looking for farts that sound like beautiful music. All right? So if you
Man,
and
I just want to go to a bologna truck
but
now.
then it right. And it had all the prizes lists, like there was an entry fee, it was 100 rupees. I'm like, what the fuck is a rupee, man? And in my mind, I'm thinking,
Zelda collects or Link collects those in Zelda.
I thought they were like camel nuggets. Like, we have Chick-fil-A nuggets here. A rupee's like a camel nugget. Is
Okay.
what I was thinking.
All right.
Now on to the Bermuda Triangle. This is a really interesting topic. We don't really touch on Amelia Earhart too much in this one. She's the big one from the Bermuda Triangle. Some of you might not know the triangle is a formation in the Atlantic Ocean. It goes from the tip of Florida northeast to the island of Bermuda, where it gets its name, Bermuda Triangle, and then directly south to Puerto Rico. And it creates about a 500,000 mile triangle there. Some say this area is riddled with mysteries and paranormal nuances, but some claim that the reason you see the amount of death associated with this part of the world is due to how much traffic there is. There, got cruises, commercial ships, personal crafts as well. There's all kinds of stuff going through the Bermuda Triangle all the time. It's one of the major routes from the European islands to America, so it's a highly traveled route.
I've been there before. Been through the Bermuda Triangle.
I've never been on a cruise before.
Yeah, I didn't die. Nothing crazy happened that I'm aware of.
How did you like the cruise?
I love cruises.
I love when I turn on the news and they say, our cruise ship in Florida has been brought back to coast due to a stomach ailment outbreak. I just think about a ship, dude.
All the shit.
Just
Just can't handle it.
2,000 people just shitting all over each other. Just
Yeah.
you get one of those little stomach bugs going around, and it's
Dude, I love cruises.
yeah,
So many fucking old people, though.
really.
Yeah, so many old people. It's wild, but it's cool because they're not expensive. You get to go to cool places for cheap, pretty much, and then it's like all your food is included. You got to buy drinks, but I mean, you can get a drink pass.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's so worth it.
there are a lot of swinging shit going on in those things. You think?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's scary stuff. I'm not trying to have sex with some guy I've never met before. Now, for the purpose of these strange disappearances and other phenomenon, it's referred to as not just the Bermuda Triangle, but they also call it the Devil's Triangle or the Dragon's Triangle. There's a lot of there's some bad names for this place. And any time you get some names like that,
Yeah.
that's bad shit, Rob Dog. For me,
Very bad.
The Dragon's Triangle starts right where my butt cheeks meet below my nutsack.
Yeah.
And it goes up to the crevices beside my scrotal sac.
Okay, yeah.
And when you're washing, it's very vital that if you don't wash anything else, you hit the devil's triangle.
You have to.
You karate chop the sides of your balls, and you scrub up and down if you don't have something to wash with.
Yep.
That's the devil's triangle. And gentlemen, believe me, if you take good care of the devil's triangle will take good care of you. Am I right?
Very much so.
You're absolutely right. So after a long day of mowing grass, trimming weeds, come inside and give that devil's triangle a scrub. You know,
Yeah.
Don't give it a tug. Give it a scrub. Then you can give it a tug.
Yeah. All you got to do is run your finger across there before you wash and give yourself a good whiff, and you'll be able to tell you need to wash that triangle.
Yeah, that Fremunda cheese.
Yeah.
Most important thing to remember about the devil's triangle is to beat your meat beforehand, because if you don't clean up, that stuff stinks. If you just let it go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you don't eat a lot of pineapples, that stuff can stink. I think is what I'm being told from the guy in my headset.
Okay.
And like I said before, the most closely associated act with the Bermuda, I love to call it the Bermuda Triangle because it sounds like Fremunda.
Yeah.
So I may call it the Bermuda Triangle several times. Is Amelia Earhart. Now there's a lot of different theories of what happened to her. I think ultimately she just wrecked, and it was a small craft, and they couldn't fucking find the shit. Yeah. So there was...
The ocean's a scary place. We talked about that with...
It is. It's a very scary place.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about the Bermuda Triangle is the mysteries surrounding it didn't just start recently. This stuff goes back centuries and centuries, to the point that Christopher Columbus, the Italian explorer, I didn't know he was Italian.
Yeah, man.
Thought he was American, man.
Nope.
All this time, man, I got my Confederate flag back here behind me on the wall, and I'm drinking my goddamn Bud Heavy. I thought Christopher Columbus was goddamn American.
He's 100% Mario.
Why are we going to name a goddamn bank holiday after Italiano? The only thing from Italia that I like is pizza. And when I say pizza, I mean a pizza that's dick. I like a piece of this dick. Now, Christopher Columbus, he had some well-documented issues in the Bermuda Triangle during his infinite travels. On his first pass through the Bermuda Triangle, while en route to then, at the time, it was the unknown North America, he reported a quote, and this is in his logs, a great flame that crashed into the ocean, and one can probably assume that this was more than likely a meteor.
Yeah.
Just because we don't have a lot of meteors doesn't mean it wasn't a fucking meteor. So I drive to work in the middle of the night, and I see shit fly across the sky all the time. It never looks like a UFO. It just looks like, space peanut, whatever, a meteor or an asteroid. I don't know. I don't know the difference.
Who knows?
I know they're big and they're on fire, and they break shit if they hit the earth. They kill the fucking dinosaurs, Rob.
Yeah. Maybe it was a Megazord.
It could have been a Megazord.
That'd be cool.
But whatever killed the dinosaurs was bigger than a fucking Megazord, okay?
Okay.
The thing was like the goddamn Death Star, whatever killed the dinosaurs. And I'm really upset about never meeting a raptor. I know that as well.
Yeah, that's pretty sad.
Really cool.
I'd be fucking terrified, but
yeah,
still would like to meet one. Be friends with it, like befriend it, just right on its back.
Just fuck one. Just lift its tail, and it's like, and you're just like, you know how to talk in raptor sex voice?
No.
You're just like, you gotta really get into it though.
Okay.
You gotta push your lips up against that scaly skid.
Yeah, just rub your hand across that long claw.
Yeah, when it tries to get away, you just grab that tail and pull it back into you.
Get back here, buddy.
Yeah, get back here.
You ain't going nowhere.
Reptile. But just a few weeks later, after the Great Flame, he and his crew observed a light in the distance, which would later be called the 1492 light sighting. So you guys can look this up. It's a big deal, the 1492 light sighting.
It seems like there's probably a lot of credible witnesses back then.
Yeah.
1492, fuck.
I was there in 1492. And I was just a boy gazing off into the distance while I was being maliciously raped by Christopher Columbus. That's the thing about dead people. They can't defend themselves.
That's very true.
I mean, they can, My body's going to give off a natural scent after I die, and that's going to be my defense mechanism for the first few days.
It's like a skunk.
But then it dies off. Now, he and his crew, they observed a light in the distance, and they described the light as a candle that was floating up and down. On top of seeing a fucking spaceship, which is what we can... So, to touch on this candle floating up and down, it's the people that are in charge of this shit, the scholars, the historians, I don't know, more than likely they weren't near land at all. Is why this was so traumatic to the crew, and they see this light in the distance going up and down. And you have to think at a time like this, 1492, the electric is disconnected, buddy.
Yeah, right.
They're not going to be able to. They're not going to be anything like that in the distance per se. I guess it theoretically could be another ship, but they weren't doing trips like this from.
Maybe they were just really stupid back then, and it was just the reflection of the moon off of a rough sea.
Well, you're absolutely right, and it could be a lot of different things, but it was traumatic enough that they noted it in their logs, and there was entire crews that said it was something otherworldly that we couldn't explain. Now, they were all stupid back then. They used to fuck each other. They didn't have vaccinations. They probably were inbred. There was a lot of different things going on.
They lived to be like 28.
On a good day.
On a good day, yeah.
Jesus, he probably would have lived longer.
If I made it past 28, anybody can.
Yeah. He probably could have made it longer, but he died on the cross for our sins.
I wasn't referring to Jesus.
He died on the cross for this podcast. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Brohio, Jesus.
One like, one prayer.
Yes. Now, Chris Columbus, as I like to call him, C-Money, he also had a severe issue with his compass at the time. And this has changed since then, but scientists have said that at that time, this is probably more than likely where true north and magnetic north met. So in this instance, your compass is always going to use, I guess,
the magnetic field of
to
the Earth's
pull the fucking arrow in the direction of north.
Yeah.
So when true north and magnetic north meet, your compass is going to go absolutely haywire. And at that time, old C-Money didn't have a goddamn iPhone. He just had the compass. So if that thing starts going wild, that's their only means to get back. Think about that for a second. You're on a ship,
man,
with you don't have a motor.
There's no MapQuest.
You just got some goddamn flags flying up in the air, and you have one chance to get where you're going. You got enough food to get there.
Yeah.
And then if you don't get there, you die. And then for your compass just to be like, oh, fuck you.
No thanks.
That's some scary stuff.
Yeah, I would shit.
C-Money persevered. He came here. He killed all the Indians. He took over. He named Florida after his girlfriend. All kinds of stuff going on there, man. So but just imagine how terrifying that would be to be out in the wide ocean and just be like, all right, I'm lost now.
Yeah, you can't fucking see land anywhere you look.
Here we are. We can stop at Sunoco and be like, hey, I hopped on the 64 back there, and I have no fucking clue where I'm going. And they'll say, well, you go down to the main road here, you turn right, hop back on the highway. That'll take you all the way into Tuscaloosa. You'll be there in no time. Not back in this time. You're in the ocean. You're gone. Might as well jump in and fuck a kraken and die.
Might as well.
Not a cracker. This is not a racist podcast. No. A kraken. Okay? Which I'll get onto the kraken later on.
Yeah.
There's another tale of the Bermuda Triangle. We're half an hour into this and we've done nothing, Rob.
It's per the norm.
This is the story of the Ellen Austin. This is an American schooner ship, or a schooner ship, I'm sorry. In 1981, while sailing from New York to...
1881.
Yeah, 1881.
There you go.
Phooey. They sailed from London to New York. They encountered an empty ship lost at sea. So the people on the Ellen Austin put what they call a prize crew on the vacant ship. That's where you take some of your best guys from your ship and you put them on the abandoned ship to tow it back to wherever you're going. You know, a boat lost at sea with no one on it is a free fucking boat. And who doesn't want a free boat? So you take what you call a prize crew and you put them on that vacant boat and they take care of everything. So the captain places his prize crew on this vacant ship. Now, sometime during a storm, which the storms are atrocious in the Bermuda Triangle, that's where all the goddamn hurricanes spin up. There's all kinds of crazy shit going on down there. The vacant ship gets separated from the Ellen Austin. Now, when the ship finally reappeared days later, they finally found the ship again. Not only was it completely intact, but the crew that was on it, the prize crew that they put on it, they had vanished from the ship. So when they initially stumbled upon the ship, no one was on it. and then they lost it. And when it came back, and the people they put on it were all completely gone.
They gone.
Yeah. So it's also said in the story that they lost the ship a second time,
Man.
and then it reappeared again. And when it came back this time, it had no fucking crew. It had a completely different crew that no one had even seen before in their fucking life. Just a bunch of goddamn randos.
Wow.
And that's the tale of the Ellen Austin. And
That's weird.
for me, that's one of the first stories I kept on coming to for this Bermuda Triangle episode here. I'm like,
Yeah, I don't like that.
man, that's weird.
Yeah.
Are we talking wormholes, portals? Are we talking, what is going on? When you are in the Navy, out at sea, are you expected to have sex with other guys? What are the expectations in our U.S. military whenever you're out at sea for months?
Gay for the stay,
Gay for the stay. Is that a thing?
I guess. Yeah.
I've heard
I think
that
it's
before.
a prison thing.
I've never heard that. I've heard it for the military, I think. So then my dad,
It's all the same.
my dad has a badass pontoon.
Yeah.
And we go out on the weekends sometimes, and usually we get about 10 minutes out into the lake. We can still see. It's not a huge lake.
Uh-huh.
In the middle of the lake, you can still, we're probably a quarter mile from the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And I just stare at him like, Dad, you know what this means? It's gay for the stay. We're out here in the middle of the water. Just
Got to assert dominance.
let's just make it right,
There can only be one alpha.
Yeah. Take your net off.
Pull out your dick, old man.
You cut. Let me see that old wiener again. You cut the net out of your swim trunks?
I usually buy them without the net.
Oh man, dude!
I haven't had a net in my swimming trunks forever.
But
I would have to cut them out.
If you can fucking explain to me why anyone would ever want a net in swim trunks, please send us an email.
It's awful.
BrohioPodcast@gmail.com. Let us know why you leave your net in your swim trunks. That's like walking around with a goddamn cheese grater on your balls all day.
It's bad. It's real bad.
Absolutely miserable.
Yeah, I'd rather just have my balls swinging around.
Fuck you, Dad. It's gay for the stay.
Oh yes.
The next one here is the USS Cyclops. What a cool
Sweet
name for a
name.
ship.
Yeah, that's a sweet name.
This is a good story. In March of 1918, the USS Cyclops, a 542-foot-long Navy cargo ship carrying around 300 seamen.
Giggity.
I don't mean come from the tip of your wiener. I mean seamen, active duty military members, unexpectedly sank somewhere between Barbados and the Chesapeake Bay.
Okay.
No one survived this incident.
That's sad.
The crazy thing about this was a state-of-the-art ship at the time. It was equipped with all the newest radios and bells and whistles. This thing would have had no problem at all calling out an SOS or a fucking Mayday. It would have had no problem doing any of that stuff. Nothing was heard from this ship at all. There was not a peep heard from anyone. There was no remnants of a crash. There was no debris. There was no oil spots in the water. There was no trace of this ship disappearing at all. It just fucking vanished with all these people on it. It's a 542-foot long ship. How do you lose that?
Just up and noped out.
And at the time, U.S. President Woodrow Wilson went to the media and said, only God and the sea know what happened to that great ship.
Huh.
They never found anything. To this day, that there's no idea what happened to the USS Cyclops. And the fact that they were equipped with all these fancy radios and shit, and there wasn't even the first hint of an SOS or trouble at all. And that's the thing. That's the way, but that's the way of the beast for the Bermuda Triangle. If you're thinking along the lines of answering how this happened, so in the back of your mind, when we go through all this, you have to say, okay, this is why I think that happened.
It was a fucking kraken, man.
Was a kraken?
It was a fucking kraken.
I think how quickly and brutal the weather is.
Yeah,
I think has a lot to do with these things just like in an instant. But a ship going down isn't like a car crash. Where
it instantly happens.
Where you hit a tree and you're fucking dead. I don't think it's like that. I think a ship, it's a slow grind. Ask Leonardo DiCaprio.
I was going to say, look at the Titanic.
It's a slow grind. But then again, that's how we see it, is how it happens in movies. I've never been in a shipwreck. I don't ever want to be in a shipwreck because I'm terrified of the goddamn ocean. I don't want that to ever happen to me. I don't want that to ever happen to you either, Rob Dog.
Okay, that's good.
I don't want to perish in the ocean. I don't want to have my feet dangling in the middle of the ocean. That's the scariest shit ever.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of sharks, so
Fuck sharks, dude. God,
I don't think they would appreciate that too much.
There's also the story of Flight 19, this is another wild one, man. Flight 19, this was a training mission by the U.S. Armed Forces. They were taking 5 torpedo bombers, and the exercise that they were doing is they were taking off from, they were leaving eastward from Fort Lauderdale, Florida for 140 miles. That's not that far for a goddamn jet.
No.
And then after they would go the east for 140 miles, they would go north for 73 miles, and then they would come back to Fort Lauderdale where they came from. These are just some short, run-of-the-mill, normal exercises that the U.S. military would run every day in this part of the world.
So nothing out of the ordinary.
Absolutely not out of the ordinary. But during this mission, the leader's compass malfunctioned. And just like we span back
Bad sign.
many, many, many years ago, Christopher Columbus, his compass malfunctioned as well.
It was just his ghost.
I think this was around the 50s or 60s.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly when. The planes at this time, after the compasses malfunctioned, the planes flew aimlessly all over the ocean until they eventually ditched their planes at sea. They were able to make contact with the base patrol or whoever was helping them with their flight, and they said, okay, you're lost, but what you need to do is you need to fly towards the setting sun, and if you fly towards the setting sun, you will eventually cross over the Florida Keys, or I can't remember, but if they flew towards the setting sun, that would get them back to Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
They flew for a short time, and I think the crew leader said, "This is not the right fucking direction. I saw Florida Keys way back there," and I think they say that he was probably mistaken at that point. But he said, "This is not the right direction," even though they said you need to fly towards the setting sun. And then one other guy that was on the flight as well said, we just need to keep fucking flying east. If we just keep flying east, or if we keep flying west, we will get there. And the crew leader said, no, we're not in the right direction. So everybody flips around, and I think they made, I want to say, they eventually lost radio contact, but they vanished as well. There was no signs of wreck. There was no signs of anything. But these guys were completely, obviously, turned around, disoriented. The entire operation was in fucking disarray at this point.
Man.
But they eventually lost radio contact with them. But I think before they did lose radio contact, I think they did hear the gentleman make a pact, like, once the first plane goes down, we all go down together. That was kind of a sad thing that all of the planes weren't going to run out of gas at the exact same time. They said once the first plane goes down, we all hit the ground together. So I can't imagine what that moment would have been like for those guys. That's even if, who's to say whatever happened to these jets? No one knows what happened.
Oh, fuck,
it's
man.
not like anyone ever found this wreckage or anyone ever has a idea of what happened here.
That's rough.
So like I said, the flights completely vanished. The official Navy report declared that it was, quote, as if they had flown to Mars.
Maybe they did.
I guess they fucking could have.
Fuck it.
I flew into a goddamn volcano. I was looking for them Taco Bell tacos they don't make no more. Do you like those volcano tacos, Rob Dog?
Hell yeah, man.
You want to talk about a rectal prolapse, my friend. That stuff it's like getting hit in the butt with a fucking Negan bat.
Well, that's where they got their name from.
Oh, dude. I've never felt
Turn your
so
ass
much
to a
pain.
volcano.
I honest to God, I was trying to explain the pain that volcano tacos bring my butt to someone one time. And they're like, yeah. I said, no. And I pulled
You just don't understand.
I pulled up a video of like a matador, like in Spain, fighting a bull. And I'm like, that's what it feels like, is one of those horns going up your ass. That's the only thing that I could have,
I always root for the Bulls on those.
I do too. Me too.
It's like, fucking get them.
Absolutely. The next one, this happened in 1921. This is Carroll A. Deering. This was a 5-masted schoner ship that was built to carry cargo. And on January 31st of 1921, while returning home to Maine from Rio de Janeiro, it was found wrecked at Diamond Shoals, located off Cape Hatteras in North Carolina. While the ship was quite intact, all crew members had vanished and were never heard of again.
What the fuck is with all these people disappearing?
And that's what I'm saying, man.
Ships are fine, but the people can't fucking stand it.
All in all, around 1,000 ships and planes have vanished in the Bermuda Triangle over the last 5 centuries. Man. And I also read a statistic today that just the Bermuda Triangle alone, over the past 100 years, is responsible for over 1,000 deaths.
Huh.
Now, people chalk this up.
Aliens.
People chalk this up to like, well, it's just super busy, you know? Yeah, but it's the ocean. It's not Interstate 75.
People would rather kill themselves than go to Bermuda.
I bet it's nice there, dude.
It's really nice.
Yeah. Okay, you know, but it's not, the ocean isn't super congested like a mega highway or anything like that.
No.
You can't just like wreck into somebody and die. 1,000 people in a 100 years.
Yeah, I've been on several cruises and I've never seen another ship on the ocean when we were.
Yeah, I mean,
the ocean's fucking huge.
You're not gonna run it. Boop. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to run into your ship.
Just like they're big squeaky toys.
Yeah,
they hit and just.
Yeah, but this doesn't just go back to this is an old thing that's going on here. We've got some newer stuff that's going on in the Bermuda Triangle as well. In 2015, 2 14-year-old boys, Austin Stephanos and Perry Cohen. What a cool name.
That's a really cool name, yeah.
Went on a fishing trip in their 19-foot boat. Despite the 15,000 square nautical mile wide search by the U.S. Coast Guard, the pair's boat was found a year later off the coast of Bermuda, but the boys were never seen again. And when you think about people getting knocked out of a boat, you think about the goddamn boat getting knocked over.
Maybe pterodactyls are still real.
Dude, pterodactyls can get it done. I've seen it in Jurassic Park. They can get shit done.
I mean, Australia has eagles that can pick up kangaroos, so I don't see how we couldn't have
pterodactyls
and
at the ocean.
Right.
But you got to think about the ocean.
Waterdactyls.
Waterdactyls. I was going to say quackadils.
It's like half crocodile, half pterodactyl.
Yeah.
It can swim in the. It can fly and swim in the water.
Hey, I'm a seagull. What are you? I'm a quackadil.
Dude, that'd be fucking terrifying.
It would be terrifying. I don't want no part of a quackadil.
No. I bet it'd have a cool accent though if it could speak like a kind of like a Jamaican vibe. I'm a very fucking hungry man.
Got these big old fucking claws. Yeah, I'm gonna rip your asshole out. Yeah. There's also this is taken from Ranker.com.
All right.
This is the BSAA Star Tiger on January 28th.
Sweet.
Yeah, it sounds like a really bad porno to me, or like a really bad casino in Vegas.
Sounds like the name of a monster truck.
Gravedigger.
Star Tiger.
On January 28th, 1948, the British South American Airlines passenger plane Star Tiger was preparing to take off from Lisbon for Bermuda with a short refueling stop in Santa Maria. Before they even left Lisbon, however, Captain Brian McMillan ordered everyone off the plane because there was a problem with one of the engines. Yeah, dude.
That's scary.
One time I saw a guy climbing around the wing with what looked like duct tape. I'm like, nah, I'm getting the fuck out of here. And the stewardess is like,
nah, fam.
That's aerospace grade
duct tape.
Duct tape. It's not just regular Walmart duct tape. Oh, yeah.
It's so sticky.
I feel a lot better. Give me a goddamn mixed drink, please, right now. Now, 2.5 hours later, passengers reboarded and the plane took off for Santa Maria. The Star Tiger made it to Santa Maria with no trouble, but the weather was so bad that Captain McMillan decided to postpone the second half of their trip.
Man.
The next day, January 29th, the flight to Bermuda resumed. The winds were still strong, but McMillan believed that if he kept the aircraft below 2,000 feet, they would avoid the worst of it and easily make it to Bermuda. This just sounds like the ingredients for a fucking disaster already.
Right.
The flight's radio operator requested and received the plane's position from Bermuda's radio operator around 3:15 a.m. They were at 72 degrees, the Bermuda radio operator reported. Around 3:50 a.m., so, about 40 minutes later, the Bermuda operator tried to check in with the Star Tiger again, but there was no reply. He reached out to the plane again at 4:05 and 4:40, and still no one responded to him. There were no distress calls, no response to any attempts to reach them. The Star Tiger just disappeared. A 5-day rescue operation was launched by the United States Air Force, but it turned up nothing. There were 25 passengers, a crew of 6, and a World War II hero, Air Marshal Sir Arthur Cunningham, on board that ship, or on board that plane. They were never heard from again, and there was never any traces of anything resulting that could have made that plane crash or where it would have crashed. Okay. So those are some of the more famous disappearances, mysterious, I guess, the mysterious shit that's going on in the Bermuda Triangle. So now we got to try and figure out what's actually happening to all this stuff.
From here we go to the possible explanations.
The theories. I'm not going to say conspiracy theories, because conspiracy theories, it's a conspiracy.
Right.
Something's happening out there in the Bermuda Triangle.
These are our best guesses.
And everything I'm reading online, they're just like, why the Bermuda Triangle is a big myth. I'm reading all these stories about shit disappearing. Magic isn't fucking real, Rob. when old boy pulls a rabbit out of his hat, he lives with that rabbit. He takes that rabbit home with him. That rabbit rides around in a Chevette with him, okay?
Yeah.
He fucks that rabbit in hotels when he's real lonely.
No doubt.
All right? No doubt.
That rabbit's seen some shit.
And you've never, ever experienced absolute climax until you've jerked off with a rabbit's foot in your hand. And doesn't necessarily
so soft.
He doesn't necessarily have to be attached to the rabbit. You can buy a lucky rabbit's foot anywhere.
Softest foot job ever. Nice and fluffy.
Just trim those nails back.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Got to wash the fur afterwards too.
Yeah.
This is what we come to, man. Just talking about jerking off with a rabbit.
With a rabbit's foot?
Yeah, what the fuck's wrong with this?
I don't know. I often ask myself that. And I hear it's even better if you listen to it at half speed.
Okay.
That's what I hear.
I feel like I'm moving in half speed today, so it's okay. That'll be like, yeah.
We'll get there.
It's okay.
So and all of these theories we got from BermudaAttractions.com. So this is not my own hypotheses. These are really good write-ups from BermudaAttractions.com. So you can check them out. And thank you to Bermuda Attractions for all the wonderful content they provided for this episode.
Or don't, and just listen to us talk about it.
Exactly. So
what the fuck you want?
Why don't you cover the first theory there,
Sure,
Rob?
something I know a lot about, methane gas. So it's
I know some about it.
Okay. So it is known that large amounts of methane gases are trapped thousands of feet below the seafloor. Now, if this gas gets released, water density in that area can reduce significantly, and the frothy water, I love the word frothy, can no longer provide the buoyancy required to keep a ship afloat, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So landslides under the ocean floor can release huge volumes of gas. Now, the water density in that area and right up to the surface can get so low that it can make a ship drop like a rock.
Wow.
And since the gas is highly combustible, an eruption can also cause the plane, if it's flying above it, to catch fire and completely get destroyed. And this is from
the theory is.
Yeah, it's from Dr. Ben Clinell of Leeds University, England.
Now, why I don't think it's this. These planes there's no evidence of wreckage during any of this stuff. And these ships are reappearing with no one on them.
Yeah, it's just the people that are disappearing, not the ships.
Right.
Yeah.
It's sometimes like the one ship, the 542, the USS Cyclops, that bitch disappeared.
Yeah.
Some people say that the reason you're not seeing the wreckage, the reason you're not seeing the debris is because there's a swift, the Gulf Stream goes through there and it just immediately whisks everything away, which scientifically that would make sense. But you're gonna find a goddamn shoe. You're gonna find something that didn't get left behind. Something
You'd think, yeah.
So I don't think that's it. And this next theory is pretty cool. It's called the Sargasso Sea. It's a strange and unique creation of nature. The sea area which is some 700 miles wide, 2,000 miles long, and it's located in the North Atlantic, has no shores. So it's a sea within a sea. It's bounded by ocean currents on all sides. To its west is the Gulf Stream current. On its east is the Canary Current. Northern side is bounded by the North Atlantic Current, and the south by the North Atlantic Equatorial Current. That's a scientific word there. The island of Bermuda is located on its western fringes. With such ocean currents on all sides, the sea area, unlike the harsh, cold North Atlantic, is strangely warm with stable weather conditions and with calm and weak winds. That's pretty crazy. I just think it's neat that it's like an ocean within an ocean.
Yeah.
Another strange phenomena is where, which is nowhere seen in the world, is the vast water area is covered with some dense seaweed, which forms a thick mat on the surface. The free-floating golden brown seaweed is known as sargassum, and therefore that's the name of the sea that we're talking about here.
It's like the schmegma of the ocean.
It's schmegma. Now, what it creates like a subtropical, I guess, this seaweed just spins in circles there, and it just sits there like a huge rug setting on top of the ocean. As a result, the entire sea area with its mat-like weeds slowly rotate clockwise. The rotation also depends on the surrounding weather conditions, obviously. Many sailing vessels that tried to pass through the area requiring wind to sail along. That seems like a stupid fucking way to go all the way across the
You're
ocean.
gonna be in an ocean on a sailboat.
Got nothing but wind, buddy. Got no gas today. Sometimes these ships became virtually motionless due to the exceptionally weak and calm winds. And the thick seaweed also would have played their role in stalling their vessels.
Can you just imagine being in this fucking place and on a sailing boat, on a sailboat, and then you're just spinning in circles? You can't get out. God damn it, I can't move. Can you imagine how disoriented you would be afterwards?
Oh, dude,
you wouldn't know where the fuck you were going.
And your compass is just like, fuck you, the entire time. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
So it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like, but the best part of this story, the Sargasso Sea is also known as the horse latitudes. You want to know why?
Sure.
Because the guys that get stuck there have huge horse dicks. Okay. I'm just kidding. No. Because the becalmed Spanish ships that were stranded there for weeks, yes, Spanish ships that were stranded there for weeks, had to often throw away their horses overboard in order to save drinking water. Now, help me understand. You're stuck in the seaweed spinning in circles, and the best idea you got's, throw the fucking horses off. Let's get rid of these goddamn horses. What?
Man.
And I don't understand the logic behind that.
At least you could fuck the horses.
Yeah, you could eat them too. I hear horse meat's delicious.
Yeah.
I've never tried
sure
horse.
it's really tough.
That's kind of about where I draw the line. But
I'd eat a horse. Fuck
says, in order to save drinking water, they threw the horses overboard. That horse is like, give me that goddamn water. That's not your water. It's Mr. Ed's water. That's Mr. Hand's water. Give me that water. I don't know why you would just throw a horse over when you get stuck.
That idea is kind of funny though.
It's like if that would be like us running out of gas on the highway, so you just start throwing a kid out the window until you're out, and then finally you just you get out, you run out of kids, and you're like, we did all we could do.
It's God's will.
We did all we could do to try and conserve some gas. We threw them fuckers out. I don't think that other one's too far back. We could probably still save him. I think he landed on a trucker bomb though. Got some piss in his mouth. You know what a trucker bomb is?
No.
You know, I used to work construction on the side of the highway. This is what it is, okay?
Okay.
These truckers will shit and piss in Mountain Dew bottles.
Okay.
And they'll throw that motherfucker out the window and just lay on the side of the highway. And the sun just bakes on it. And the bottle just expands. It's like farting in a balloon, dude.
Yeah.
They just grow bigger and bigger. It's like a dead body. You just don't want to poke it because it'll explode.
I was going to say, does it pop on its own?
No, well, I've never been around for one to pop.
Man.
And another thing people don't realize.
How do you just poop into a bottle like that? Do you have to cut the lid a bigger? I mean,
truckers are programmed. They got their assholes are actually the exact same size as the mouth.
I was going to say, I don't think I have really a fat asshole or anything, but I can't imagine.
Yes, you do.
Don't say I can't imagine putting my asshole in a bottle and making sure that it all goes in there.
You have the fattest asshole. Now I got this visual of like only the center of my turd going into this Sprite bottle, and the rest of it just going
It
on
just
my.
cuts the outside
Yeah.
like a cookie cutter.
Yeah, it's like a Play-Doh cutter. Like, oh man,
Oh man, that's why they call them turd cutters.
yeah. The trucker's like, I got goddamn poop on my hand again. Hate beating my meat with poop on my hand. And I get home, my wife calls me shit dick. She won't touch me.
Saves money on lube though.
She said, "Oh, you come in here and fuck me, old shit dick."
I mean, maybe after just eating all that Waffle House, they don't poop solid anymore, so it's easy.
I ain't got shit dick this time. I got pooped in a McDonald's cup.
See that? I'd be okay with that.
I pooped in my cooler. It's still in my truck.
My luck though, I'd have like a huge Godzilla turd. Wouldn't be able to get it.
You need 2 coolers,
2 McDonald's cups.
2 coolers,
Stack them on
and
top of each other.
a spatula.
Spatula.
Oh man, dude. Now, working on the side of the highway, there's also fucking needles every 5 feet
Yeah.
because truckers, they don't exactly take good care of themselves. They've all got diabetes. I know we have a lot of truckers that listen to this show, so thanks, guys, for persevering and getting to this point. But this is probably where our paths.
Check your insulin, though, buddy.
Yeah. So there's needles all over the side of the highway.
Yeah.
But there's also trucker bombs.
I'm interested about trucker bombs. If you want to give me more info on those, feel free to write us an email.
Yeah, send us one. We have a P.O. box. It's Brohio Podcast.
Send us a trucker bomb.
P.O. Box 672, Vandalia, Ohio. Send us a trucker bomb.
Oh, God,
Please,
we're probably
God,
going to
don't
get
do
one.
that.
We're probably going to get one.
Why don't you tell about the hexagonal? And Wyatt, the fucker, talked about this one. The hexagonal clouds
Yeah,
and,
hexagonal clouds.
and air bombs.
Kind of like something we just talked about. So it's a series of hexagonal-shaped clouds with straight edges. They don't do drugs. They don't fuck around. They exist over an area of the Atlantic Ocean spreading from 20 to 55 miles each.
These clouds don't know dope.
If they say nope to dope. This is a strange and rare phenomenon because cloud formations are usually random. And what more, such hexagonal clouds have been spotted at the western end of the notorious Bermuda Triangle, about 150 miles off the coast of Florida near the Bahamas. And the Bahamas is overrated too, by the way.
Okay.
Been there multiple times, and I don't know why I keep going back. It sucks every single time. Confirmed ocean surface wind speeds of about 100 miles per hour in such areas with very large and high waves that could be dangerous for ships. Meteorologists have also confirmed that such straight-edge hexagonal clouds, that's hard to say hexagonal, are like air bombs. They can blast anytime and generate vertical wind speeds up to 170 miles per hour
Jesus.
going down towards the ocean.
Oh, that's so much fun.
Yeah, it is. So such wind gusts can easily overturn and sink a ship or damage an aircraft that would be caught in that vertical wind. And such vertical blasts of winds, also known as microblasts, coming down from the clouds above would also create dangerous giant waves as high as 45 feet, as well as high-speed surface winds. 45-foot tall wave, that's a big fucker.
Dude, 170 mile an hour wind coming straight from the sky down to the ground. That is going to fuck some shit up, dude.
Definitely.
Now, the next theory is the electric fog, or the Hutchinson effect. It's been heard several times that ships and aircraft get engulfed in some kind of like an electronic fog, and the fog actually keeps following people. They follow the ships or the planes, and eventually all the electrical equipment and all the instruments start malfunctioning. Then the ships and airplanes either disintegrate or they disappear without a trace altogether.
Damn.
Vancouver-based scientist John Hutchison, through his experiments, has shown occurrence of electric fog that causes some strange phenomena. And I did hear about this story in several different places. This is Bruce Gernon. While he was flying his classic Bonanza along with his father as a plane.
I was picture it shaped like a huge dick.
Yeah. In 1970, an elliptical-shaped cloud started forming ahead of them about 3 miles off Andros Island. Before he could get out of the cloud, it completely engulfed the plane, creating a tunnel around them.
Man.
Now, while flying through the tunnel at 10,000 feet, they saw the cloud around them forming lines and slowly rotating and spiraling in anti-clockwise direction while propelling them forward.
Damn.
You got to fucking turn back, bro.
You got to start drifting.
They started, yeah, Vin Diesel style, dude.
Right.
They started having a feeling of zero gravity, and all navigational systems started to collapse.
Oh, shit.
Luckily, the cloud, i.e. the electronic fog, suddenly disintegrated right over Miami Beach, which is one corner of the Bermuda Triangle. And they were again spotted in the radar because during the entire time of them being in this fog, they were completely removed from radar, which is really crazy. However, by then, they traveled through the tunnel for 100 miles, taking 30 minutes less time
Nice.
than it normally takes. And he's gone on record to say several times that he experienced loss of time. That's what he experienced.
Okay.
That he thought that he'd entered a wormhole or somehow a portal of some type. We talked about that at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
He had a field of some type that allowed him to travel 30 minutes faster. 30 minutes over a 4 to 5 hour flight, that's not unheard of. But to gain 30 minutes in just over 100-mile flight, that's unheard of.
That's fast.
Yeah.
You're hauling ass.
To gain 30 minutes, not 30 miles, but 30 minutes. In another Bermuda Triangle incident, an experienced pilot, Jensen, reported that he was lost in a cloud only 150 feet above the ground. There was no reason for the cloud to have formed at such low altitude. His voice was heard again after 11 hours, about 600 fucking miles away from where he was lost earlier, and not too long after his fuel was over at that point. He vanished again without a trace.
Damn.
Oh, God.
Jeez.
Tell him about the whirlpools.
Yeah, whirlpools and blue holes. So this is a strange phenomenon that has been noticed in the Bahamas, which is located at the western corner of the Bermuda Triangle, about 50 miles off the coast of Florida. And there are whirlpools with very strong tidal currents flowing in and out of them. So any ship passing over them can easily get sucked in and out of the endless depths. Yeah, that's spooky.
I hate snakes.
In fact, such a phenomena has been known to the natives here since ages. An ancient beliefs that there is underwater monster that breathes in and out, causing that sensation there. Now, during inhalation, it can suck in human beings easily, or even ships. However, the real facts have now been known. So there are actually many blue holes in Bahamas water area. Now, these are large underwater caves or cavities which have been formed through geological transformations. These bottle-shaped caves have their openings near the water surface and can have depths of hundreds of feet. So the largest such blue hole in Bahamas, and this is the second deepest in the world, is Dean's Blue Hole.
Hi, I'm looking for Dean's Blue Hole. Oh, yeah.
And this has a depth of 663 feet.
God damn, Dean.
Dean's got a damn deep hole.
Dean got a dunk.
So divers have discovered that deep below in the blue holes, there are many lateral tunnels that have originated from the walls of the blue holes, i.e. from walls of the main underwater cave, and they run for miles in different directions. Water flow in and out of these lateral tunnels during the tide change, and that actually causes the tidal currents on the ocean surface and the whirlpools. These whirlpools can be extremely dangerous for ships passing over them or even near their edge.
And like we said, these are just the conglomerate of all the different possible theories of the weird shit going on here.
Right.
There's also the probability of just human error altogether. People doing dumb shit.
Yeah.
And scientifically, true north and magnetic north meeting there, that would create immense problems for someone trying to utilize a compass.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So there's also the possibility of this all just being human error altogether.
Mm-hmm.
And another cool theory here.
Yeah. This one was always my favorite.
Atlantis.
Yes.
We're going to Atlantis for just a second here. It's based on the mythical lost city of Atlantis and the advanced technologies the city had left behind. And now that's a completely different avenue there as far as Atlantis even being real or what technologies Atlantis had. The Atlantis story talks about some underwater rock formations on the ocean floor, which is known as the Bimini Road. These rocks are located near the coast of Bimini Island in the Bahamas. Famous psychic Edgar Cayce once predicted that eventually the city of Atlantis will be discovered and the Bimini Road will be found. In fact, researchers did find stones and other formations in the area in 1968, but called them natural occurring. Those who believe in Edgar's theory argue that those stones are so well arranged that they actually represent roads in the walls of Atlantis. And there's all kinds of underwater stuff that they've actually found in the Bermuda Triangle area that I saw pictures of. I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's an underwater city. That's not anything. The recent finding of a possible underwater water, then that's the one I was talking about. They found another underwater city near Cuba more recently, which that's the one I saw pictures of. There's perfect pyramids under the water, dude. Like the perfect pyramids, like columns and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. So how is the mysterious disappearances connected with this supernatural story of Atlantis? The legend says that the city of Atlantis heavily depended on some special energy crystals, which were extremely powerful. Those crystals radiated huge amounts of energy, also known as death rays, and caused the navigational instruments of passing ships and airplanes to malfunction. As a result, they would have been lost or sometimes get completely destroyed by the sheer power of the energy of these stones. Whew. That's crazy shit.
That's some
right
Thanos
there.
shit right there.
That's some real crazy shit. Just snap the fingers and it's all gone.
That's dope.
Now, another one that we can kind of converse back and forth here.
Yeah.
I stumbled upon this this interesting story I'm gonna start with here.
Okay.
It's the possibility of it being unidentified flying objects,
UFOs.
of it being aliens of another world, another realm, okay? It's possibly aliens out here inflicting all this shit, which is what we hope it is.
Yeah.
This was an eyewitness account from 1971. The witness had served a year on the USS John F. Kennedy while inside mostly the Bermuda Triangle. At the time, the vessel was returning to Norfolk, Virginia after a 2-week exercise. The witness on duty, the witness that where I got the story from, that witness, he was on duty. He worked as the communications center. I'm not sure of his exact title, but he worked in the communications center on the ship, monitoring 8 different teletype machines. So on a ship like that, these teletype machines are going to be used to send information back and forth from the home base, send back and forth between ships. And it was his job. He was like a dispatcher almost, kind of receive all these teletypes and all this different stuff.
Sweet.
So at about 10:30 that night, the night in question, the witness said there was absolute nonsense and gibberish that started coming out of all the teletypes. So these things start spitting out paper and, and none of it makes sense. Just like weird scribbles. Nothing makes sense. And that it never happened before. It happened on, it happened in an isolated incident, but it never happened on all the teletypes at one specific time. Never happened. So he checked all the machines, and they were all doing the exact same thing, spitting out absolute shit. They had a tube system that they could use to talk to the bridge up above on top of the ship.
It's just those fucking, like, they have a kids' playgrounds.
Soup cans.
Yeah, on a string.
My mom just heard me talking to you on the soup can. I gotta go to fucking bed now, Rob Dog. I gotta put the soup can down.
Hey, Nika, you're gay.
Yeah.
Tell your mom to leave the window open and the blinds up when she puts her bra on tomorrow because I like her fucking tits.
Now, from the tube system, from up above, so this guy's working down in the communication center. He hears someone scream, "There is something hovering above the ship."
Hell yeah.
And someone else screamed, "It's the end of the world."
That's a little dramatic.
Fuck.
Like, Steve, you're always so dramatic.
Yeah, it's not the end. Now I got this story comes from liveabout.com.
Sounds like a sexy website.
I know. It sounds like somewhere where you would go to get fucked in the ass by about 12 other guys. The 6 men in the communications room immediately went to take a look at what was happening. They ran the approximately 50 feet to the hatch that opens to the catwalk on the edge of the flight deck. This happened at the time of no horizon, which occurs in the morning and evening because of the sun rising or setting. And during this time, it is difficult, if not impossible, to tell where the sea and the sky meet. I would pass out and shit my goddamn pants. As they looked up, they were shocked to see a large glowing sphere hovering above the ship. Yet, without a horizon for reference, it was difficult to estimate its exact size. Best guesses from the witnesses put it at about 200 to 300 feet in diameter. Goddamn sphere.
It's huge.
There was no sound coming from the UFO. The light of the otherworldly craft seemed diffused and had a yellow to orange color. After gazing at the UFO for about 20 seconds, battle station alerts went off. Right. Their officer met them on their way back to the communication room, urging them to rush back to work. After about 20 minutes of sitting with nothing to do, the communications came back up online. So the teletypes were back in order. There was no messages outgoing about the giant UFO at any time. Radars glowed and wouldn't work at that time. So he talked to a friend on the other portion of the ship that didn't work around. He worked monitoring the radar system, and he said whenever it happened, the radar systems all started glowing.
Man.
Like they were absolutely of no use at all. And also during this time, all of their compasses started to malfunction as well. There were also during this time, there were 2 huge F4 Phantoms that they were trying to, get ready to go up into the sky to possibly fight this thing. They wouldn't start. And this isn't like a 72 El Camino,
Right.
where it's like jets start, okay? Cars don't start in the winter. Jets fucking start. But these F4 Phantoms, they wouldn't start during this alleged UFO incident. There were not long after the incident happened, the following morning, 2 men in trench coats landed on the ship and questioned a bunch of people on the ship.
Men in Black.
Right, possibly. And also, whenever they finally were going back to wherever they were coming from, they were going back to land. I guess the commander, whoever was in charge of on the ship, told everyone what happens on the ship stays on the ship.
Hey.
So, all that butt pussy you've been getting for 6 months, all that
Keep your fucking mouth shut.
all your brother's cream holes you've been running up into.
Ooh, cream holes.
Yeah.
Mm.
You like that cream spot right there, don't you?
Cream spot.
Now, another article I found. This is from the Bro Bible.
Right up our alley.
Yes. This is a news article from about a year ago.
Okay.
Treasure hunter claims an astronaut helped him find a UFO sunk off the coast of Florida in the Bermuda Triangle. So I'm going to read this article exactly how it is on the Bro Bible. It says, while we look towards the heavens to find UFOs, we might be looking in the completely wrong direction. A treasure hunter says that possibly a sunken alien spaceship off the Florida coast and inside the mysterious Bermuda Triangle. To make things even more intriguing, the treasure hunter said that a NASA astronaut gave him a map to locate this underwater UFO. God damn. Daryl Miklos, treasure hunter and host of the Discovery Channel television show Cooper's Treasure, believes there is a massive extraterrestrial structure at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. The giant alien spacecraft is allegedly just off Florida's east coast and at an undisclosed location near the Bahamas. To get even weirder, it's located in the Bermuda Triangle that has long been rumored to have paranormal activity that has curiously downed aircraft and sea vessels for over 100 years. Miklos was informed of the potential of alien spaceships being submerged under the Earth's ocean by former NASA astronaut Gordon Cooper. He was one of the first pioneers in human space exploration and flew missions for the Mercury and Gemini space programs in the 1960s. Cooper was the first man to sleep in space. Cooper believes that he saw a metallic saucer-shaped disc flying over Germany in 1951, as well as over a secret U.S. airbase. Quote, I believe that these extraterrestrial vehicles and their crews are visiting this planet from other planets, which are a little more technically advanced than we are on Earth, Cooper told the United Nations in 1984. Quote, I did have occasion in 1951 to have 2 days of observation of many flights of them, of different sizes, flying in fighter formation, generally from east to west over Europe. Sadly, Cooper died in 2004 at 77 years old. But before he passed away, he provided Miklos with treasure maps of unusual objects that he saw from space, as well as when flying missions for the United States Air Force. So this obviously is not gone much further than this. This is possibly a TV thing, but it could not be. And another thing that we touched on earlier, there was these underwater formations found by Cuba.
Mm-hmm.
And there's pictures of these underwater formations. Like I said, these things are like perfect pyramids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And perfect columns. It looks like an underwater super world.
That's so cool.
There's no part of me that says that didn't used to be something.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a big to-do about it with Cuba, but then all of a sudden Cuba just dropped it. Like they were very gung-ho about investigating further of what this might be under the water, but then it was dropped all of a sudden. They just quit talking about it and they quit pursuing it. And there's in this community here, there's certain beliefs that the Cuban government or whoever is in charge of it are being suppressed by someone that's saying, don't dig into that because it is something. And the pictures that they've released, you see it. It's something. It's menacing. I don't know why it wouldn't go any further than what it has right now. And I can't remember if I put this article. Okay, it says the Bermuda Triangle. Says the spooky phenomenon may be found. According to an outlandish conspiracy theory, the Bermuda Triangle is actually the location of the lost city of Atlantis. In 2001, Pauline Zalitsky, a marine engineer, and her husband, Paul Winswig, discovered what appeared to be massive granite structures using a video robot at a depth of 750 meters off the coast of Cuba, just within the Bermuda Triangle boundary. The ocean civilization, later dubbed the Cuban underwater city, has puzzled scientists and experts for years, with nobody being able to explain why it's there. But conspiracists believe it's actually the site of the lost city of Atlantis and have theories for why it was suddenly swallowed up by the ocean and how it affects the Bermuda Triangle. It is thought that the city was once a thriving civilization during the last ice age, which lasted until approximately 11,700 years ago. But when the freezing conditions suddenly ended, polar ice caps melted at such a fast rate they caused sea levels to shoot up over the coastal land.
Okay.
Yeah. It was then, they believe, Atlantis met its watery grave. And according to the legend of the city, Atlantis was actually powered by crystals, like we said before, that are still sending out bursts of energy to this very day, something conspiracists say would be enough to down a plane or sink a ship.
Where are these fucking crystals at nowadays?
Yeah.
They can't have all the crystals.
But that's the underwater
That looks
formations.
yeah. I wish we had a reference as to how big that was.
Right, but that's
You can see a
perfect
pyramid right in front. Yeah, it looks like a Mayan design.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which I've been to the Mayan ruins and it's ridiculously like crazy.
Crystals, bro.
Beautiful.
Crystals.
I like that. It's pretty cool.
So that's the Bermuda Triangle episode. We still have the interview with Wyatt Rucker, the Patreon
Pretty
sponsor.
spicy. Yeah.
I want to say it's so people do meth. They can do some pretty fucking wild shit, okay?
Yeah.
Imagine if a fucking kraken got a hold of these crystals.
Oh, man.
What a kraken could do with these crystals in its ass.
Dude, that'd be cool.
What if it's just a kraken out there
It could be.
with
I don't
not
fucking know.
not normal tentacles, but just tentacles that have dicks at the end of the tentacles?
What if they're tentacles?
Yeah,
They have tits out.
big fat titties at the end of the tentacles. Just up there
Sign me up.
smacking fucking planes out of the sky with big titties.
Big old titties. Man, they could do that.
Yeah. Yeah,
I've seen some huge titties before.
I love being smacked by my wife's titties.
Man.
Smack me right in the face with them. She said, "You've been bad." I said, "Smack me."
Punish me.
So, what do you guys think is going on in the Bermuda Triangle? Let us know.
Yeah.
Send us an email. Hit us up on Twitter. No one talks to us on Twitter.
No, nobody likes us there.
At Brohio Podcast. We got a couple live shows coming up.
Yeah, we've already mentioned them, but fucking check them out. Come out to them, say hi.
Very preliminary, but I believe we're going to be sitting down in person with Amiri King, the comedian, the internet sensation, Silverado, Mr. Amiri King himself. We're still working out the logistics of that, but I believe that's going to be going down here in the next few weeks.
I hope so. It's going to be a lot of fun. By the next time you hear us, we will already have passed the storm area 51.
Yeah. We're not going to die.
We will talk about, hopefully, millions of people dying.
Yeah. I hope people get shot.
Or just like 10 real stupid kids.
Yeah. There's going to be like 2 people that get arrested, and that's going to be the end of it.
I say there's going to be max 500 people that show up, and then max 100 people that go down the road, and then 3 that step over that little fucking line and think they're badasses.
Yeah. But they're going to be drunk when they do it.
Yeah, yeah.
I think they canceled it, though.
Oh, did they?
So I recently read they canceled it.
Yeah.
But
the
people
events,
are still going to show up.
People are still going to show up, yeah.
Sure. There's flights and hotels booked, and people are going to show up.
That's sweet.
Yeah. So,
all
all right.
Well, catch you guys next week.
Hold on for the interview.
Yeah.
And next week, I think we're going to be doing a really big one.
That's what she said.
Maybe. Tell them you love them, Rob.
Love you.
Yeah. I told you we were fine. All right.
You weren't expecting that, were you?
No, I wasn't. I completely was not ready for that. We're here with the Patreon sponsor of this episode, Wyatt Rucker, a.k.a. Wyatt the Fucker Rucker, as we like to call him, affectionately here in the Brohio studios. Wyatt, how you doing, pal?
I'm doing really good, guys. Kind of a late night here, but I hope everything's going good over there as well.
Yeah.
We're alive.
We've been doing it on Sundays, which work out a whole lot better for us.
Yeah.
But we had to push some stuff around. Here we are on Monday night. It just fucks everything up, man.
Oh, yeah. I get that. We actually today, supposed to be a pretty chill week at work, and then we got told we got 30 days to get out of the building we're in.
Oh,
so now we have to pack up everything.
You can tell your boss to pay the fucking rent. Yeah, that's good stuff. Well, like Wyatt took the easy road here. He said we normally our patrons will say, "This is what I want you to cover," and they give you one topic. Wyatt, he gave us a few different topics. Ultimately, we decided on the Bermuda Triangle, which is what we're here covering.
Yeah.
It's there's a lot of wild stuff going on out there in the middle of the ocean there with the Bermuda Triangle. But Wyatt's affection, I think you're more interested in what just lies at the bottom of the ocean, not necessarily the Bermuda Triangle, but just what is at the bottom of the ocean. Am I correct in assuming that?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, for the last couple of years, I've watched videos, I've read articles, I've just done any kind of research I've been able to do because, it's crazy. We know more about space than we do the ocean.
Yeah, and that's on our own damn planet.
Yeah, like people who live on the coast walk by the most mysterious thing on this planet every day.
I never thought about it.
It's so crazy to think. I think about it quite often, more than I'd like to.
I'm terrified of the ocean.
Oh,
dude.
it's terrifying.
It's so scary.
I hate heights, and I hate pretty much the ocean because I don't understand it, and I don't know, man. You think about at the Marianas Trench, down the Challenger Deep, there's over 250,000 pounds of pressure down there.
Jesus Christ, I didn't know that, and that's blowing my mind right now.
Yeah, I was watching this thing this one time, and I don't remember how far it was. I think it was the farthest that a submarine can go, or maybe not even where the submarine can go. Maybe it's even before that. But it was like the pressure was the equivalent of like an elephant standing on a penny.
Oh my
Yep.
God.
Yeah, and it's
That
like
is-
when you put that into like consideration, that's not even like probably half of what the most intense pressure would be at the deepest depths. And it's like, fuck.
Yeah, it's scary because you're like, man, how are things living down there?
And what taught me, one thing that's always freaked me out is when I watch Finding Nemo, and there's
Mhm.
that fish with the big fucking teeth and the
Yeah.
and the, like the Christmas light dangling in front of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That is a gnarly looking fish, man. That is some scary shit. And there's all kinds of
It's a real
stuff.
thing.
There's all kinds of stuff down there that looks like that.
Yeah.
kind of fun fact about that fish.
Is that an angler fish?
Yeah, an
Okay,
angler fish.
that's what I thought.
They're actually. I read an article not too long ago about they are what we consider the surface fish of the deepest part of the ocean.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow. And there's some kind of shark from towards Japan that I've come across lately that lives at really, really deep parts of the ocean.
Is it the goblin shark?
Yes, it's a
Yeah.
goblin
Yeah, the
shark.
long nose,
That thing's so
yeah.
fucking ugly.
God,
Yeah.
man.
It has that big nose and all the Mr. Dink teeth.
Yeah, it is the gnarliest looking shark in the entire world. Like, it would fuck up a great white right now, and it's a quarter of its size.
I just look at him. I just feel like he has a voice where he's just like,
Yeah. Hey there, guys. Welcome to the bottom of the ocean. Well, that's we haven't done the episode yet. So usually we've already done the episode. So we're not gonna peel open too much because we feel like we're spoiling it, even though we haven't done it yet. We can't. We're creatures of habit and we're stupid.
yeah.
It's kind of hard to break us of that stuff. What's your favorite theory about what's taking shit down in the Bermuda Triangle?
The one I want most to be real.
Yeah,
is,
give us give us the one you want to be real, and then give us the one that you think is the most awesome theory.
honestly, what I want most to be real is like the aliens, because like you
Fuck
know,
yeah.
I want concrete evidence that there's something else out there. And there's got to be. There's no way we're the only form of life in the entire universe.
You're absolutely right.
agreed.
I mean, whether or not they look like grays or whether or not they look like just normal humans with different features, I don't know. But man, that'd be so cool just to know, like, hey, this is kind of our spot. So every now and then we're just gonna suck some things
Yeah.
up and just take it on back home.
There's one article that we go through with about an explorer that saw some stuff that kind of, yeah, it'll touch on that absolutely, because that was the thing that intrigued me the most was fucking aliens out there,
Yeah.
dude, doing stuff. I love stuff happening from the aliens.
Any alien theory, I'm all about. I like it.
I want
so
something.
fun.
Oh yeah.
I want something oblong and smooth shoved up my ass so bad that I can taste it. Now, in your opinion, Wyatt, do you think this Bermuda Triangle is for naught, or do you think there's actually something going on out there? What do you think is actually going on out there?
I think for the most part, I think just about everything can be explained, but the 2 or 3 instances that really can't, that at least I've read about personally, it's kind of like, they try to like blame it on, hey, a ship came by and ransacked it, and then they just left everything and said, oh, we found an abandoned ship. Well, if there's 10 crew members on that abandoned ship and they went to go ransack it, it's going to show signs of
Absolutely.
everyone getting in there, killing each other and all that stuff. So, I mean, I don't really know. I think the most, what I'm looking for here, most reasonable theory, I watched a video on it. This meteorologist said that there's these little hexagonal formations over the Bermuda Triangle,
Right.
and they pretty much form air pockets.
Yeah.
And those air pockets can go straight down at 170 miles per hour.
Yeah. We're gonna cover that in this episode.
Yeah.
That's a lot of air. That's a lot of wind.
Yeah.
That's real fast wind. With it being one of the most traveled, kind of trade routes in the world, just a super busy commercial route, and the Bermuda Triangle is notorious for that's where all the goddamn hurricanes spin up too, man. So
Yeah.
you kind of get bad, not necessarily bad weather, but just weather, beyond the imagination that can just spin up almost instantaneously,
Oh, yeah.
really. So the fact that and this doesn't start recently. The tales of the Bermuda Triangle go back to Christopher Columbus when he sailed across to, fucking kill
a bunch of Native Americans.
Yeah, take the Native Americans off their land and put his flag in the ground. So that's what's cool for me. There was even some paranormal stuff going on back then. Whenever Christopher Columbus, it was recorded whenever he was coming across, there was some stuff going on, and he had it in his captain's logs and shit. And we're going to touch on that. I think it's really cool that the tales of this specific area span, centuries and centuries.
Oh yeah.
So I think there's definitely some fuck shit going on, Wyatt.
Like he talked about. I remember Christopher Columbus. He talked about potentially seeing a fireball striking the ocean.
Yeah.
And in my mind, if I was him and I seen that, I'd be like, I gotta know what that is. Like, take me to that.
Yeah. In my mind, I'm like, that's a meteor, but there's some other stuff behind it that goes along with it where you're just like, okay, what the fuck did he see?
Yeah.
Now you do, before we get come to the end here, you do you're heavy on the Twitch. So I would like to touch on your Twitch channel and what kind of stuff you're doing on there.
Well, I mainly stream, just about any random video game. Every now and then I'll do like chats, like just talking stream.
Okay.
Right now I'm taking a little break because my wife and I are in the middle of moving to our first home we're buying.
Oh, congratulations!
Congratulations!
Thank you.
What's the link to your channel, or what's your handle there at Twitch?
It's called The Undead Beard.
The Undead Beard. I'll put that link in the description for the episode for anyone that wants to go check out Wyatt's
Thank
channel.
you, I appreciate that.
What kind of games are you playing?
Right now I am playing Borderlands 3.
Oh, nice.
I don't know what that is. It sounds really intense though, bro. If it doesn't start with Call of Duty or Madden, I don't know what it is.
Now, whenever the new Modern Warfare drops, I'm going to be playing a lot of that.
Yeah, I'm a huge Call of Duty fan. I shouldn't say huge because people are like, I tell them, I'll say, dude, I'm super into Call of Duty. And they'll say, well, come fucking play with us, man. And then I'll go play with them and they're like, you just went 3-40. I'm like, yeah, but I was out there spraying. I was helping.
I didn't say I was good. I said I like to fucking play.
I'm more of like a comedic relief type deal in the headset is what people bring me along for. So.
You're the kid everybody thinks is autistic.
Yeah, I've only been banned from BS4 twice.
He's like the worst teammate ever. He's just over there spraying the clouds.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can break this toilet with my gun. Well, that's a good deal, man. What about any other paranormal travels you've had in your life? Are you much of like a ghost hunter, or is there any other wild stories you got going on?
I got 2 wild stories if you guys don't care to hear both of them.
Dude, it's your episode.
Go for it, man.
We're here for you.
So this isn't the weirdest one. I'll say the weirdest one for the last one.
Okay.
But one of the weirdest ones I've ever experienced was my wife and I. We had just gotten married.
Can we give her a fake name for this?
Oh yeah.
Let's call her Petunia for this.
Okay. So Petunia and I just got married.
Okay.
And she was at work, and I think it was like 2 or 3 days after we got married. So we were trying to like make plans to go somewhere, do the honeymoon and whatnot. And I'm sitting in my living room, and we had just moved into this apartment. It's kind of more condensed. It's like 2 floors and it's really condensed. And I thought I heard something going on upstairs. And, the apartments are connected. So it's like, it's probably the neighbors, but, I'm not just going to let something be up there and not know about it.
Yeah, why? A lot of hard fucking going on in apartments.
So I went upstairs. And I'm not even joking, guys. I swear I heard the front door shut and Petunia say, I'm home, I'm about to make supper. What do you want? And I said, whatever, it don't bother me. Burgers sound good. She said, okay. I heard that plain as day.
Well, yeah, you answered her. You told her you wanted fucking burgers.
It was a full conversation.
I went downstairs and she wasn't there.
Oh.
And I was like, did she go outside and go to her mom's? Because her mom lived just 2 apartments down. Okay. I'm like, she may have went to her mom's, whatever. So I walk over there.
That made me want to blow my brains out. But go
ahead. Her mom's not even home. And I'm
wow.
like, what in the world? So I go back inside and I'm sitting there, I'm just waiting. And I'm like, okay, acting, like an idiot, whatever. She's probably in the closet or something like that, trying to scare me.
That's what I do when I'm acting like an idiot. I hide in the closet. I'm just gonna hide here in the closet for a few moments till everyone just leaves me the fuck alone.
I opened the closet and there was nothing in there. So I call her and I'm like, "Where are you at?" She's like, "I'm still at work. What are you talking about?"
Oh shit!
And I was like,
God damn,
dude. I just had a full-on conversation with you. She's like,
"You're cooking burgers, right?"
Did you grab the burgers? Please tell
me. Are we still having burgers? That's what I'd be asking. Oh, that's pretty wild, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that one was creepy.
Wife's not home. Mother-in-law's not home. I'd be laying on the bed beating my meat so hard that the thing would be ready about to fall off.
Would have really been fucked up if you'd have went downstairs and burgers would have been cooking.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I mean, I would have ate them.
Right.
So the last tenant that died in there was down there cooking burgers.
Yeah. He's like, these burgers are awful mysterious, but boy, am I hungry.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say no to a burger.
These cheeseburgers sure do taste like shit. Now, that's a pretty weird story, man. I can't see something much weirder than that happening. But what else you got?
So, my Petunia and I were dating at this point.
It's such a hot name. Yeah, go ahead.
Getting me wet.
And we were at her. I took her to her dad's house.
Even hotter.
In front of her dad.
In front of her dad.
In front of her dad's house, there's like weeds starting to grow up pretty high, so you could see his house.
Yeah, it's a crack house.
Yeah, I mean, essentially. So I was sitting there, and I only pulled halfway into his driveway because it goes through a creek, and my car's set really low to the ground at the time.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, I ain't messing up everything under it just to go get it fixed 2 days later. So I wait there. She goes inside and everything. It's probably 11 o'clock. And I'm looking at the house and 100% seen a little boy, brown hair, brown eyes, overalls with just no shirt and everything else, just overalls and no shoes. And I was like, okay, that's weird.
Who is he?
What is it?
And just make a mental note to kill that fucker before you go inside.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm gonna not get out of my car ever again.
Got a little boy over there, nice and sweaty.
You know what I said? I'd be like, "Hey boy, what you doing, man? What you doing, boy?
Let me see that nipple, little boy."
So she comes back to the car, and I'm like, I saw something. She's like, "What?" Now, mind you, she has never told me about this at all. Only thing she brought up is that she had an imaginary friend whenever she was younger.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So I tell her what I saw, and I describe it to a T to her. She's like, "Oh yeah, that's my imaginary friend Peter." And I'm like,
"What a stupid name for a boy."
Yeah, right?
He was packing.
I named him after a dick.
So I was like, "No, that's BS. That can't be real. Whatever, And literally seen a picture of a little boy who used to live where her grandparents lived. He died of heartworms because he shared food with a dog.
Oh, jeez.
That's his own stupid fault. But yeah, that's horrible.
After he died, his mom took off her shoes and jumped in a well.
Why'd you don't want to fuck?
I assume she bought like, some like new Jordans. She didn't want to ruin them.
Right.
Back, the 1910s.
Yeah. Jeez, man.
Yeah, and ever since then, I was like, you bring that kid in this house, I'm saging every inch of this building.
That's crazy.
Don't bring him in the house. We're bringing ghosts in the goddamn house. Letting them in. They track dog shit through the back.
At least she took her Yeezys off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got to keep the shoes preserved.
You can't ruin them.
I got a bit of a weight problem, so my shoes curve really hard to one side.
Same here. 6'4", 300 pounds.
Oh, wow. No, I'm like 5'2", 400 pounds. So.
Short and wide.
We got the opposite stuff going on. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's some good stuff, Wyatt. Those are definitely some fucked up stories. Have you thought about trying to and you've had these paranormal experiences. Have you thought about taking it any further and doing any type of paranormal investigating or anything like that?
I did a couple times. It wasn't anything too serious. We went to like an abandoned fire station fire department station, whatever, that had burned down about 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything too crazy going on there. Nothing that can't be, explained by wind and junk like that.
Yeah, I used to work at the police department, and we had to go over. There was a fire department that we had to go to sometimes, and I had to run over there once for one time, and I went in there, and they were all fucking each other. All the firefighters were, and
That's rude. They didn't invite you.
Yeah, I left. I didn't stick around. So that's my opinion on firefighters. Is they have sex with one another whenever they're not putting out fires. They're just, yeah. That was my experience.
I tell you what, I'm making believers out of some of the people I work with and some of my friends and family. I'm telling them all these stories about the main ones I've been talking about recently is whenever you said you went to that bar and the guys from Right Pat were talking about sit in front of this door.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't let anything out. And they're like, that's kind of weird. And I'm like, dude, it's freaky.
We've had like 2 messages from people that said that they have heard that same exact thing. One guy said that he had a buddy who said the same exact thing, that he was put on in a station there. They were like, here's this rifle, shoot something that comes if it comes out.
There was one guy that said that story is absolute dog shit too, that it doesn't hold up. But then we had 2 people reach out and say, we heard the same thing.
Yeah.
That's what sucks, because you want to believe that it's real, and then when someone's like, no, that's stupid, no, it's completely fake, and they're like, you work for the government, you want to think it's fake.
Yeah. Reading this Bermuda Triangle thing, I was reading about some possible suppression they were doing on Cuba over some stuff they found underneath the Bermuda Triangle, and then it took me in another twisting direction of the internet where it's talking about how they're starting to come forward with a lot more contact we've had with UFOs. I'm about that. My cat is acting out right now, and I'm about to fucking kill her, dude. And it led me down this other route, and I just thought, I'm thinking about all the things that we don't know, and I've never really pondered on that before. But I'm thinking about the things that we don't know and how scary of the things are that we possibly might not know. There's a lot of. I read an article about there's an ultimate plan with the government, Illuminati and stuff, and there's a plan for the other races that don't live here to destroy this universe. And this universe this world we live in, they've made a deal with these other people that are, galaxies away to try and like salvage a deal where they keep us around, and they're doing certain things to appease these people that are so far away. And I'm just like, what? That sounds far fetched, but what if stuff like that is true, or there's,
there's small things that we didn't even like, that we're like, no, that can't be real. And then, they just talk about it and they're like, oh, wow, it is real.
Right.
And you're like, what else is not real?
None of this is real.
Confusing.
None of this is real.
I like to think of everything as real because it's a lot funner.
Yeah.
It is.
Is funner a word? Funner?
No,
it's all
not.
game
More
simulation.
fun.
It's a lot more fun.
A lot more fun.
A lot more enjoyable.
Yeah, I'm allowed to tart out every now and then.
No,
it's
that's fine. We're from Northridge. It's all right. They're 3-0. That's more games than we won my entire high school career.
It really is.
It's all right.
It's cool.
Well, Wyatt, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode. And I'm glad we finally got around to you. I'm glad you picked such a fun topic that we can go in a million different directions with. Thanks for being a fellow Ohioan. I think that is the case. Do you live close to Columbus?
I'm actually southern Ohio. I'm closer to Kentucky.
Yeah, the meth addicts and shit.
No, I'm not even joking, man. I live 10 minutes away from Portsmouth. That was featured on Hillbilly Heroin.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
Portsmouth is a fucking dump, dude.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of it.
Oh, it's rough.
Is
man.
it?
We should go down there for a field trip one day. I got a motorcycle a few weeks ago, Wyatt, and I'm really trying to get Rob to go somewhere with me on it. And I think that would be a perfect trip for us to go down to Portsmouth.
I mean,
pretty
you
sexy.
Really
Seeing us 2 fat fucks rolling down the road, hugging each other.
If you really want to appreciate where you live, go to Portsmouth.
Yeah.
Well, hey there, kitty.
This cat is up on the table. She's never done this before.
Just sticking her asshole in Nick's face right now.
She's never done this for the pot. Hey, no beer for you, kitty. All right, Wyatt.
Well, we appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate you, man. You
you guys.
You have a good night, all right, buddy?
Yep, you guys do the same.
All right, see ya.
Thank you.
See ya.